are already experiencing being a parent. And before I begin, I want you to think for 2 minutes and make a mental note or write down, where are you facing problems? The query that we had got was that whatever were my negative habits, my child also has got the same. How can I heal that and what can I do about it? So before I handle all of your questions and I explain my perspective about it and we work towards a resolution, I'll give you all 2 minutes to just have a look at your journey of parenting from the time you conceived, you got the news that you are pregnant, or for the fathers, they got the news that they are going to be the fathers. Until now, what is your journey? Where are your challenges? What do you think you are clueless about? Can we put everybody on the mute? If there are any other questions also which had come, I would like to have that. You all guys can put it on the chat. So we can handle one questions. Please put it on the chat. What are your worry points? Start putting it on the chat so I know whether you are done with it or not. So what do you mean when you have written emotionally weak and perfectionism? So they have that, or you think that you have passed on emotional weakness and the need for perfectionism to your children? And on the chat, it's written that they follow ancestral patterns. So what patterns are you worried about? Because ancestral patterns can be good and bad both. Okay, so emotionally weakness and perfectionism. Okay, so keep on writing. Let us start understanding the point before I come back to helping you release. No matter what the parenting book will say, what others speak about parenting, always know that each one as a parent is a perfect parent. What comes out in your relationship and the outcome is always the first thought you had in your mind when you got the news. How happy were you when you figured, or were you worried about it? that, oh, there is one added responsibility? Were you in denial? No, I'm not ready for it. Were you scared? Were you feeling overwhelmed with a sense of responsibility which has not come? Whatever you felt at that time, no matter what that emotion was, you somehow continue that in your relationship. It comes on your face in some or the other way. Because as much as a mother gives birth to the child, in reality, it is the child giving birth to the mother or to the father. That emotion of being a mother comes to you only when you become a mother. You may have seen that, you may love children, you may feel that, but that this is my child, it is my responsibility, this is what I wish to do. And that hormones that the child's body produces and they become so lovable, you feel that connection, you feel that love, the innocence of the child transforms you, and something within you changes there and it suddenly shifts. So if we are looking at the resolution, there is nothing which is called perfect parenting. My rule book can be different rule book for you. Yeah, there can be few guidelines as we discussed in the generation gap, that probably this can be your language of communication. But always remember, rather than constantly thinking, where am I going wrong? What can I do better? You are constantly focusing on problems and you are constantly telling yourself, I'm not good enough. I'm not doing a good job. It's all my fault. It's all my responsibility. Neither that it's all your fault, neither that it's all your responsibility. Their soul is a completely different soul on their journey. They have not come here for your journey. Their souls have come here for their own journey. And again, it is a fact that you have not chosen them. They have chosen you. Probably one of you, mother or father. Very rarely, both of you. They have chosen you for a particular reason. Now, if they have chosen you to finish the karmic entanglement, if you have lived multiple lifetimes with them, and in those lifetimes, there is a huge karmic entanglement which happened between you and the child. Now, obviously, this life is an opportunity to open up all those entangled relationship. जो गांठ आपने बांधी है इतने लाइफ टाइम से, जन्मों जन्म से, ये जन्म में आप उनको खोलने के लिए आए हो. And that's why their soul chose you. Positive or negative, you are not aware. They are aware of it कि हमारी गांठ पॉजिटिव थी या नेगेटिव थी, जो हमारे इतने पिछले जन्मों से आ रही है. तो वो पॉजिटिव और नेगेटिव की अवेयरनेस उनके सोल को सिर्फ जन्म के समय पर होती है, बाद में नहीं होती है. It takes 2 years to make a wall. And in that 2 years time, they forget it. How do we open up the karmic entanglement? When you are going through the experience, if you are in an observer mode and in acceptance of what is happening, acceptance from within, not from your logical and conscious mind. किसी ने आपको थप्पड़ मारा, and if you are angry but you are subdued and you keep quiet and you tell yourself it's okay, but there is a tear which is really wanting to come out of your eye, you are not accepting it. Because you are struggling with yourself to tell yourself, accept it, accept it. And the more you are telling yourself, the more you are getting hurt and you are rejecting it. So that's not called acceptance. Acceptance does not come because by the time we are 2, our brain has developed a little bit. By the time we are 7 or 8 years old, it's completely developed. Now we see and perceive everything from our logic. And it doesn't make any logical sense to us that why is this person talking to me rudely or acting in a particular way. So one of the reasons why things don't work out in a very beautiful way is because the soul has chosen this lifetime as an opportunity to open up a lot of karmic debts, karmic obligations, which were pending from multiple lifetimes. If both the souls are in awareness of that, it becomes easier for them to let go of that. And suddenly, instead of the anger, the energy of the gratitude comes in. I'm saying that from my own experience of when I have visited multiple lifetimes with different people with whom I had a lot of questions. I had the most amazing parents. So my questions were never with them, but with others. From the time from my early childhood also, there was a complete sense of gratitude towards my parents. And today when I look at it, I many times feel, why did I never had this question as a kid that, oh, this happened to me, that happened to me. So we are 4 siblings, and out of 4, I'm the only one who went to vernacular medium because of the circumstances. My brothers who are elder to me, my sister who is younger to me, they all went to English medium. But it never occurred to me, it never felt that, oh, this is a problem. There was always, even as a kid, a sense of gratitude that they are doing so much and they did the best. Which if I really look at it, today when I see it, I see a lot of people come and complain that this is what my mother did, this is what my father did. So that sense of gratitude was coming from the past lives. Because my soul has always experienced these 2 people being there for me, protecting me, guiding me. So it was not my logical mind which had the gratitude. It was the gratification from my soul's energy, which instantly recognized and constantly my soul would remind me that gratitude, that you are always there for me. So that thought of that they are not doing anything would never ever occur to me. Or even today, it never occurs to me. It is always that, oh, they have done so much. Only that thought comes. So before the communication and everything, the most important part of the relationship between the parent and the children, there are 2 relationships, parent and child, and husband and wife. In these 2 relationships, there is a lot of karmic entanglement involved. So the resolution also is needed to identify the karmic patterns. And the resolution is when we identify and we allow our soul to remember and recognize what were our relationship. If it was negative, if we allow it to transform, how does the relationship transform? It transforms when you realize that the other soul is doing nothing else than just teaching you a lesson. The minute you identify the lesson they are teaching you, the minute you identify that it is an opportunity for your soul that you have done something wrong, and now they are giving you an opportunity to balance that out, suddenly you are not angry. And the minute you are not angry about it, immediately it shifts. There is no more need in that soul to actually act in a particular way for you. Is it actually that simple? It is actually that simple. But it happens when you can connect to those past lives of yours, or if you can identify the patterns. If you can't, then probably the story continues not in just one lifetime, lifetimes after lifetimes, the same drama, same story continues and much more intensified. So, this is number one. Number two, in parenting, how we felt in this lifetime when the conception occurred and when we got the news. When the conception occurred, probably you were not aware consciously, but your thought pattern at that time has a huge influence on the child, a huge influence on that child. And when you actually got to know about it, what you expressed also makes a child feel being welcomed or rejected. Child doesn't understand your reasoning, what you experienced in the womb when they were in your womb. That has a huge, huge impact in that. These are the things, Veena, I can do downloads, but it's not something which gets resolved with the downloads because it's your particular memory you require to go to and do the resolution from that memory. So probably if you were in a negative state at the time of conception, when the news came to you, during your pregnancy and after that, the thought pattern that you had, oh my God, one more responsibility, but I am not still ready for this. I mean, where will the fund comes? How will this child grow up? How will I look after this child? I already have a job. I already have so much responsibilities. You are constantly with your thought pattern rejecting them. So probably what you require to do is to go back to every memory in your own space and cancel it and accept them. Communicate with your child in that memory and say, I love you. I'm happy you are coming into my life. You are the one who is upgrading me, because that unconditional love we experience when we become mother or we become father, right? So that gratitude with the child needs to be there. So this is the second thing, because half the things and the half the fights, or probably like 80 to 90% problem, comes from here. The third thing, the communication, how we communicate with them. The subconscious mind does not understand negative commands. And we unfortunately go on telling our child what not to do. We never tell them what to do. Even as a kid, they're like, don't jump. Don't put your hand there. Don't hit this. You can't do this. But we are ourselves so programmed. I had taken a rainbow children class with, my majority students being 8-year-old, teaching them theta healing. And one girl who was 5.5 years old. And the mother of them were also attending the class. She also participated. And she said, even I want to learn rainbow children. And I remember the girl is sitting, she is very small and her frock went up. And, it was a panty showing and the boys were sitting opposite, including her brother. They all started laughing. And I'm sitting at an angle, I can't see it. So I asked them, what happened? Why are you guys laughing? Nothing, ma'am. I said, no, you tell me. And then they said, they are also 8-year-old. So my initial reaction was anger, but then I took charge and I'm like, don't be the mother, be the therapist. And then when I guided them with, how does that make you feel if you were in the similar situation? And they immediately realized if, they were in the similar situation and somebody would have laughed, how will that make them feel? And then I said, how you could have acted differently. And then the brother also realized that, I said, like, you could have gone, you could have told her that, this is like, and helped her. And it turned out in a very beautiful way because rather than that, don't do this, like this, ideally you can do and understand, like, this is what you are creating. And the situation in the class suddenly changed after that day. They all became such protective energies and loving energy of a brother. All the boys in the class started having towards the girls. And instead of like, making fun of them, bullying them, they suddenly started going and started saying this. So with your child, no matter what age they are, by constantly, even in your mind, complaining and cribbing about it, how many times are you taking efforts to actually speak about it and communicate that, express your worries to them and hear them out? Right? Because if you are not communicating that, then probably your worry would reflect no matter whether you express it or not. And in a family where you are staying together, our auras are constantly merging. They will pick up your worries and they would also start believing that to be true. Sorry. So, for example, you are worried that my child will not do good enough. You are worried about your child's future. My child is not settled. Whether my child will earn enough money to run their lives. Is my child capable? Is my child capable to hold a relationship? Is my child capable for running their own household expenses? Anything which is your worry. By you not communicating that is not going to help them because your aura and their aura is constantly merging. And as a kid, they are already very open and receptive for the messages that you give them. At an auric space, at a subconscious mind level also. Because as a kid, your voice, like they have constantly heard you. So they may portray the behavior of being a rebellion or an aggressive behavior of saying no. But that is their inner child playing and not real them. The real them, the minute your love energies comes up, the real them are very susceptible to accept your energies unknowingly. We all pick up even from the mass consciousness. So this is your own family. Unknowingly, we pick up a lot of that fear energy. Unknowingly, as a parent, we go on giving a lot of that fear energy to them. So not expressing it in a healthy manner is neither helping you or them. Then you have a pattern if you have a pattern of constantly worrying about your child's future, that means only one thing. You have anchored in yourself the reason to live, the reason to progress is only when you are worried about your child. Ask yourself today this question: what if tomorrow you don't have to worry about your child? Nothing at all. They're doing very, very well. Suddenly, the divine has taken away all your worries away from you. Are you a person who can actually, you know, when you wake up in the morning, if you have nothing to worry about, what is your purpose of life? What do you want to do? Are you guys getting my point? This is something which happens to 99% people unknowingly. The reason of their survival is the worry of their child. Is that an intelligent thing you are doing or the stupid thing that you are continuing? You get so much addicted to it. You're programmed. You are programmed. This is what your religion, this is what your country, this is what the society taught you from the time you were born. From that time, you are my responsibility. My children are my responsibility. उनको बढ़ाना ये मेरी जवाबदारी है. To get them married is my responsibility. To give them a house, to settle them in the business is my responsibility. Can you tell me how is that your responsibility? Do you know what was your karmic relationship? Have they come here for that? How is that your responsibility? Together as a family, you all grow. You enjoy the dynamics because you have chosen to be a family. But if you think that they are your responsibility, are you blocking them or are you encouraging them? If I think today my child is my responsibility at any age, can my child be a responsible child? What do they have to portray me? Responsible behavior or irresponsible? You all know how the subconscious mind functions. I have shown this to you many, many times now. Now I have explained you guys that only this 10% part is my conscious mind. The remaining is my subconscious mind. Now in the subconscious mind, you say, I am worried for my child or my child is my responsibility. Sorry guys, I'm not having the pen here, so I'm writing with my finger. So I can't write it properly. So my child is my responsibility, okay? This is the energy and the vibration you send out. Your child might be a very responsible person. But the only thing they can give you back is an opportunity for you to fulfill your responsibility towards them. Why? Because you asked for it. Not once, not twice, not thrice, not 10 times, not 100 times, million times. From the time they are born till they are grown up, till they are married, till they have also become parent, till probably now they also have grandparents. You still think they are my responsibility. Today, my parents even now feel I'm their responsibility. So this doesn't go. So the part that one can attract is only the behavior, is the irresponsible behavior of theirs. They will start fulfilling a lot of responsibilities, but in any way, it is not helping your child. It is becoming a roadblock for them. But if instead of that, or if you're, I'm worried for you, they catch that worry and they also, after a while, do not understand the clarity of how they are progressing, the belief in their own self starts deteriorating. And then they do not know what is happening to them. You guys tell me, in what way Are you helping your child by doing that? It's an addiction. It's a habit. Why do we do that? It's a habit. I'm addicted to it. It makes me feel a responsible parent. When I'm constantly thinking about my child, what is happening and not, it makes me feel, oh, I'm a good parent. मैं कितना सोचती हूँ मेरे बच्चों के बारे में. मुझे कितना लगता है. फिर and then many times I express my worry. It's not a healthy discussion my perspective I express. It comes out of my frustration. Right? Like we say, समझ में नहीं आता तुम्हें, कौन सी डायरेक्शन में जा रहे हो, ये कॉलेज की डिग्री से क्या होगा, अब तो अपनी लाइफ के बारे में सोचो, टिल द टाइम हम लोग जिंदा है सब हो जाएगा, फिर क्या होगा तुम्हारा. These are the statements which comes out. Other statements helping them, giving them confidence boost, because we never think about the root cause of the problem. If my child has lack of clarity, if my child has a broken relationship, what was it which was at the root cause of it? Because still the time, and am I focusing my energy on building my child's energy up, or am I focusing my energy on constantly asking them what is not working? Just 10 days back, I was giving a session to someone, and the parent said that, oh, the relationship is not working for my son. And the daughter-in-law is saying, now she doesn't want to remain in that relationship. What can we do about it? And at this similar time, the other parent came for the daughter. And they said, like, सामने वाला सुन ही नहीं रहा है, क्या करे? And I'm like, it's a very wrong time. They say, can we ask him to take a session from you? I said, no. They're completely in a denial. Why do you want them to come to me? I said, you focus on building your child up. Stop giving energy to them right now. Live it. When they will start understanding, and both of them ended up like joining graduation course, and today they are at such much better place because it's giving them an opportunity to open up a lot of karmic entanglement. They are understanding where they went wrong in communication. They are understanding why it came out. They are understanding their own patterns. They are at much better space and much better place to be. So rather than worrying, develop one thing in your home from today. Decide one day in a month, one day in the week, where you all sit as a family and have an open discussion. And don't pick up on the first week or the first month the topics which are very hot and which are problems. अरे ये क्यों नहीं हो रहा है, वो क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? Because if they had the answers, probably they were not struggling or they were not suffering. It can be something very simple. So first few months, give them the comfort that my parents understand, and create the comfort for your own self that my children understand. Have a very open-hearted discussion with them about, small things. ये शायद ऐसे किया होता तो, ये ऐसे होता है. And they're like, oh, I thought, you want it like this. So that's why I did. ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, हम लोग next time ये करते हैं. Be a listener. Just be a listener. Develop the quality of being a listener. अपने बच्चे को सुनो तो सही कभी. उनको बोलना क्या है? You are always in a rush to tell them what to do and what not to do. How often do you give them a chance to speak their heart out? Listen to them. Don't jump to prove yourself a good parent? How many times you jump in between a conversation they just started saying, don't tell me. I know it. नहीं सुनना है तो मत सुनो. तुम्हें तो कभी किसी की बात समझ में आती ही नहीं है. मैं तुम्हारी माँ हूं, मैं तुम्हारा बाप हूं, मुझे पता है क्या करना है. Please stop doing that. Listen to them. If you are the mother of a young child, is your child 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old? It is the same rule which applies to you. Listen to your child, what they are saying, and speak their language. If your 3-year-old child says, but no, mama, I want to eat only pizza today. So then you speak their language out and say, oh, my baby wants to eat only pizza today. But can I know why? Because mama doesn't know this time. Can you prepare a pizza, baby, today? There is a way in which you communicate. You just make them feel being heard by. When you come out and say, no, you can't eat pizza. You're supposed to eat this roti sabji. This is not good for you. You can explain them, but there is a way. What they want, treat them as an adult. Treat your 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old as an adult. Remember, they have exactly the same emotions as you have. They are operating from those emotions. Would you like to hear when somebody will tell you, ये खाना खाओ, ये नहीं खाना है, समझ में नहीं आता तुम ऐसे चलो, ये करो? Would you like to hear that? If you don't like to hear that, the rule applies to your 2-year-old also, and 3-year-old, 5-year-old, 7-year-old, 10-year-old, 18-year-old, 25-year-old, 40-year-old. It's the same rule which applies there. The rule book does not change. We don't have time to do the releases. Next week, we continue with the releases. Mac, can we please make a note of all the problems people have given us on the chat? So all these points we will take. If there are any other points also which are worrying you, there are other things which is your concern with your child, please put it on the YouTube, write it down, or send it as a message on our office number 9819232223 on WhatsApp, or you can send it via email to info@cestahealingstudio.com, and we will, like before next week, we'll release it, but understand these are your personal experiences. If you guys think that, I'm in one session of 40 minutes and she helped us to release and we are sorted, it doesn't, because you have invested not one lifetime, lifetimes with them to create this pattern. You either require to open up each one of that knot or identify the pattern and clear it. So we will give an opening to you by next week, working towards it. Yeah. So please share it with us. And Meg, please take down all this which has come on the chat. All this point we will be working on. Let your friends, family, anyone else also is facing the same problem. They are not aware about parenting, your concerns about parenting. Send us all the questions. If we require to take more sessions than 2, we'll take more sessions than 2. We'll pick up only one point and explain you, and then do the release at the same time. So please ask them also to join, and we will do the releases next week if required, probably next to next week also. Yeah. So we'll just pass healing to all of you before we close. Would you all like to know that I understand the definition and perspective of being a parent through Creator's definition and perspective of the seventh plane of Creator of all that is, and to allow the divine's energy to be invoked into you without constantly doubting yourself in the role of a mother or a father, and allowing the divine in you to communicate, to express with your child. And if you are the child, to allow the divine in you to express yourself from the divine perspective with your parents now, and that it is safe, it is possible, you are deserving of it, and you know how to do that. You know how to live your daily life, to create that beautiful flow and a relationship which has the foundation of understanding, mutual understanding, love, respect, honoring each other, knowing your boundaries, and releasing the fear, doubts, guilt, and allowing to create the relationship which vibrates with joy and happiness, and that it's completely possible. Into every cell of your body, every area of your life, at all the four level of your belief work, for each one's highest and best in the highest and best possible way for each one now. Say yes to allow me to instill these feelings into each one. Thank you, it is done, it is done, it is done. Creator, show me. Passing unconditional love, light, and healing to each one. So thank you everyone for joining. Have a wonderful day. Remember, you are an absolutely amazing parent, an absolutely amazing child. Rather than complaining, cribbing, and doubting yourself, just focus on how you can create happiness in your relationship. It's completely possible. We all are together in this journey. We will continue this episode next time also. Do send us your worries, your concerns, and if possible, please put it on the YouTube so that probably the answers also people are aware of. Let your family and friends know about it, because so that they also have the same thought pattern as yours, because they are your guiding force who give you suggestion. Do it this way, do it that way, aisa kar le, aisa kar le. So they also requires to bring that shift, and not just you. And see you all next Thursday. Have an absolutely beautiful, happy week. Namaste.